Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like and also share for other new members to watch. Thank you. If you have anything that you want us to publish, you can do so by sending us a voice note on 0277-128-777 and our team will meet you on one-on-one discussion. Thank you. Elvis B Botah, the former New Patriotic deputy organizer, has also come out exposing why the big men in NPP decided to fall out. He said they did that to free themselves from intimidation and humiliation. Without much ado, let's listen to what he said himself. Thank you.
Now, you have a situation where the choice of parliamentary candidate is not only about the contest and the voting. It is also about the strategy of the party to decide which candidate can win the seat. There are some candidates who can win 10 primaries. If Nana Akufo-Addo goes to contest them in primaries in those constituencies, those people win the primaries. But as to whether they also have what it takes to meet the general criteria of the constituency to be able to win the seat becomes a problem. So there are a lot of unspoken truths when it comes to parliamentary primaries. But I am worried that indeed most of these so-called colossus may lose their primaries because of the level of despondency and apathy within the NPP at the grassroots. People feel used and dumped. And so they will only switch camp to get a new breed of leaders whom they can trust. That is why some of the big wigs have taken cover in a diplomatic exit. It's not as if they are too happy leaving parliament or they are so tired or they want to give younger people the opportunity. No. Some of them have noticed that if they go, they will be humiliated. Others genuinely think that they've been in parliament for long. It's time to exit, much as they still love parliamentary business. So they are exiting on integrity and to prepare for future, political agenda. Somebody like the venerable former General Secretary, who is also MP, is one of them. If you look at others have gotten themselves into presidential ambitions. My main man, Honorable Kennedy Japan, after going for the elections he went for and having made that kind of good performance, it is only wise for him to step out and focus on his next agenda, and we will all support him. Someone like Joe Gatti also went in for, so it can be understood. So various reasons, feed into that. I think that the NPP should give, plain pitch for all of the contestants to move. When it comes to these constituencies, you even have a situation where the presidency have entrenched interest sometimes. And that was what affected us in 2020. Yeah. And sadly, a lot of the blame went to Mr. John Bredu. And I tell you, I sit at National Council. I sat at National Council when most of these things were discussed. It was not John Bredu, but as General Secretary, he must convey and implement the policies of NEC and National Council. Then they've blamed this man who didn't have much to say about these things, and at the end of the day actually made him an enemy to people he shouldn't be enemies to. So the presidency should stay off some of these decisions. Key power brokers should stay off. You find people campaigning that, look, me, I'm a Gabi boy, me, I'm an Osofumafu boy, me, I am. When you do those kind of, meanwhile, these same elders are those who must unite the party for victory. The NPP must watch it, because the NDC, if they could equate us in parliament, it means that they can win majority parliamentary seat even if Mr. Mahama loses. I know the NDC friends, folks are not happy. I said, equated Mr. Mahama with Bawumia when it comes to certain ills. All right? but we can always go back to history and expose where and at what time. So elections are always subject to fraud at all levels. You know there is a leading record in the Guinness Book of Records on electoral malpractice of the Liberia's 1927 elections, when the incumbent Charles won against Faulkner, and his total votes, the votes he had, exceeded the total number of voters in the electoral register. So sometimes desperation to entrench some candidates can lead to all. I don't know how they did the mathematics, but the votes he had alone is more than the total number of voters in the country. It tells you that they overstuffed the ballots. So desperation is, especially when you believe you are the losing end and you want to stay on to power, that is where all these tactics and intelligence and gymnastics begin to play. I think that the NPP should learn from what happened to us. We fought ourselves so much in primaries and lost some of the good people, and by extension losing certain seats we should have won. And look at the situation we have found ourselves in. I believe that if we allow a level playing field, it fosters the cohesion of the party broadly going forward. And there is a debate, and I want to conclude on that because I don't want to make much submission on this, that, very experienced people are leaving parliament. And if we have a situation where certain caliber of people leaves parliament and parliament suffers a technical deficiency in their legislative and oversight responsibility, then it means we don't have a learning parliament. If you go to parliament for your first term, you should be given an opportunity both at committee level and whatnot to familiarize yourself with really what happens there. So I don't get it. Though this person has so much experience, let's protect and keep him. Then, if you want to believe in that philosophy, let's create permanent seats. Let's create, some jurisdictions have done it. Some seats are very permanent. And so anybody occupying them after some time is entrenched on merit as though you were now a public servant to the nation. Are you getting it? So that wealth of experience is not eroded. But that is when there is a focused direction and national plan with deliverables and timelines that must be achieved. But in a democracy like ours, where there is no direction, a clueless governance structure, why would you entrench some people in parliament when you don't even have a national development plan? What deliverables are they working up to? And what key performance indicators are serving as benchmarks to judge their contributions or otherwise? So, you see, we remain confused. Since Nkrumah left power, no common sense have not come on the decks of governance.
Thank you very much. Zulka Uthman says, good morning to the panelists. Well and eloquently submitted, Elvis. Thank you so much. Felix Apia says that does the protection of ballot include carrying of weapons? Wow. Nkola Anaba says, good morning, bless. I think the NDC should be training its experts to guarantee their victory in 2024. Okay. Ametoglo Jacob says, today in the history of Ghana politics, both the NDC and NPP have spoken well, though they belong to political parties, but they spoke what you want to hear about the true state of our democracy in Ghana. I learned that the state institutions are the calamity that's destroying the development of Ghana through corrupt practices. We will not go for any politician, but will hold the state institutions accountable. They should not joke with the youth this time. Dennis Wakwete says, Elvis Botah, as usual, has dealt well with the protection of the ballot, except his admission that JM and Baumia are same, even in telling lies. That is really not on. JM may be desperate to be president again, but his past record as compared to what we are seeing now, it's evident that JM's desperation is for the common good and posterity and not himself. Shalom. Kobe G says wisdom is talking. Brahma Mahama says Baumia can't beat Mahama in 2024. It is not possible. Brahma goes on to say that how can we trust an EC that assumes office on the back of a clandestine conspiracy to remove the previous one? An EC who declares results more than 6 times, an EC that prevented the whole constituency of having an MP up till date, etc. Right, thank you very much, Brahma Mahama, for that message. Pedro says he's watching live and clear in Kumasi Tanoso, Kesben Junction. Thank you so much for your time. One way politics in Ghana. Okay, ADK Codestra says good morning ADK, and thank you so much for watching. John Afo says, please Elvis, never ever equate Baumia to Mr. Mahama, never. As for this one there, you have goofed big time. And Stephen Payne, who is also sending this message from where says, good morning, bless. I disagree with Mr. Botah's comparison of Baumia with His Excellency John Mahama about integrity, honesty, and character. There's a vast difference between my JM and the NPP's Baumia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
One is a first-class liar, and the other is a second-class upper liar.
A lesser evil.
So mathematically speaking, the fundamental denominator here is lies.
Oh, but right. I can't really see
Mr. Ibrahim.
Bahama really lying because most of the things he says, he carries them true.
Most of the things.
Yes, he carries them true.
Yes, so most of the things or all the things he says.
Of course, we have limited resources. We have limited resources now, so you can say, and your resources will determine whether you execute everything or you live so. Yeah, on this MPP primary, trust me, I don't have much to say on that because it's in my interest and it's my wish that they lose more seats, then we will get more seats, and then we have the majority in parliament. And if most of the big chiefs are going off with new faces to face our candidates that we have, that's good news for me, that we can all go all green and then go face and fight for most of the seats. But one thing I realized in their primaries is that there is this cabal that wants to determine who should go and who should be left out. And I've seen that even in some of the places that most of the MPs are going unopposed, for example, there's a lot of subtle and overt intimidation that people will just have to stay off. Like my constituency, the way they went about it, nobody came to contest the Abu, my village constituency. He's gone. Is it Damongo? Yes. Wow. Unopposed. And if you look at the dynamics and the way they went about it, it was obvious that if you attempt to contest Abu, you will have problem with the party. So, and most of them bickering within the MPP folks, they want Abu out so that they can have a fair contest because the way he goes about his things within the constituency. So on this particular one, the way it's going, and I've seen a lot of party bigwigs, the cabal within the Danado and Baumia going out to make sure they have their favorites going, even contesting some sitting MPs. They have to plan people to contest some sitting MPs because they want them out, and they are protecting other MPs too. Bottom line, at the end of the day, we want to win the general election for the presidential and have majority in parliament so that policy will be smooth. And in the midst of all this, one thing that must stand out, that at the end of the day, parliament must stand as a strong institution, because in the kind of democracy we run, we would need the strong institutions and not just strong individuals who will manipulate things in their favor. It's in our interest that they lose more seats and then we can have the majority in parliament.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Pratt.
Well, I predicted about 2 weeks ago that there was going to be a tsunami in the primaries of the New Patriotic Party. The primaries have not taken place yet, and about 9 members of parliament are now going back to parliament. The tsunami has begun. There are many factors which are going to influence who gets elected and who doesn't get elected. And one of the major factors is going to be the outcome of the contest for the presidential candidature of the party. That contest, the divisions it brought and so on, would feature prominently in the selection of candidates, parliamentary candidates. My brother Elvis was talking about safe seats and so on. Elvis, unfortunately, in the 2024 elections, there wouldn't be that many safe seats anymore. And take it from me. Seats which were considered safe may no longer be safe, and we should be watching that. One of the things which has happened in the parliamentary primaries, which is very significant, is the fact that Matthew Opoku Prempeh has picked up forms. What does it tell us? Is there an indication that there's no longer certainty about his becoming the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? This is just a question I like to ask. He's pulled out. He hasn't pulled out, but he's picked up forms. What is the indication? Okay. Now, there are some of the candidates who were threatened much earlier. And I'm talking to somebody like Eugene Entry, who at some point was a deputy minister for Works and Housing. I know they led the charge to get Kenofurata removed from office as finance minister. And around the period, we heard that a certain group within the party, which is loyal to Kenofurata and so on, had plans to make sure that all those MPs who led the charge would not come back to the House. Now, interestingly, Kenofurata has survived the threat, which would suggest that he's very, very strong. I don't know the source of his strength. Is the source of his strength the fact that his cousin is president? Or there are other factors making him that strong? Now, what will happen to those who ganged up against him? You understand? What happened to all those members of parliament who openly came out in support of Kennedy Agyapong? Will Kennedy Agyapong continue to support candidates who, according to him, betrayed him? Let's wait and see. Just let's wait and see.
Right. Thank you very much. I'll read a few more messages. This one
here says, okay, I think I've already read this message from Dennis Y. Akwete. Please, the NPP man was saying something that would never happen again. Please, we can't let Bawumia to be president. Even unborn babies know Bawumia lies. By Kennedy Avoro from Bogatanga. Thank you very much, Kennedy, for your message. D from Tema says, Elvis is wasting his time supporting the NPP. He deserves to be in the NDC for a better political future. Okay, he said you. Abbas from Offenso says, the NDC will surely protect the ballot in order to remove this corrupt government. The NPP source of hope is to rig election 2024, and we are ready for them. Thank you, Abbas, for your message. We are extremely grateful. Good morning to you, Bless, and your panel. I'm Felix, aka Chief Kreja from Ketekrache in the OT region. I'm a die-hearted member of the NDC, but to be honest, I always like Elvis. I always like Elvis's submission anytime he comes on TV. Thank you so much. Thank you for your message. There is no democratic way the NPP can win election 2024. If NPP wins power again, then Ghana's economy would get worse than this. But if NDC sits down for the election to be rigged, then that's their own story. I don't have any party. I vote based on performances. You didn't add your name, but thank you for your message. Good morning, Pan-African TV. Today, Mr. Botah is almost neck to neck with our great comrade Uncle Pratt on frankness, truth, ideas, and courage. But he lost a significant mark from his scorecard when he consciously equated Bawumia with JDM. Sorry, you from Teacher Baba in Salaga. Thank you, Teacher Baba, for your message. Whatever happens in the NPP's internal elections, we don't care. All we want is to win 2024. From Alan K in Weja Bawe constituency. Thank you very much, Alan, for your message. Good morning to Botah. You have spoken with vision. Isa from Sola. Thank you, Isa, and good morning to the good people of Sola. Thank you very much for always doing the watching. Good morning, Bless. Is Elvis an NPP member? In fact, I'm very happy with his submissions. I pray they don't sack him from his party. Tina from Adan sent this message. Good morning to you and your open-minded panel. The truth is that Ghana is at a crossroads with this current electoral commission in place. If the EC chair should repeat what she did in 2020, then Ghana will turn upside down. No, Ghana won't. From Amanra Peter in Sunyani, New Doma, thank you very, very much for your message. Good morning, Bless. The NPP have run out of options and are desperate to stay in power using the EC. Let's be 100% alert. John Derry, you sent in this one. Let me say a very good morning to Abdul Razak Mahama, one of our cherished viewers, one of our very, very dedicated viewers. You are back in town. He said he actually met you, Mr. Pratt, on his way back to Ghana. He's in town, and then today he'll try his best possible to pass by the office. We'll be glad to see you, and thank you so much for always doing the watching. This is where we'll draw curtains.
Thank you for watching. Really appreciate your time. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Hit the notification bell, like, and also share. You can also join the discussion as well by sending us a voice note on 0277-128-777. Thank you. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Now, so far so good. Say open online portal in Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, I PENDREAM TV.